Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles, along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am
Jacoby.
swell, Charles. Excited. Another episode of the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast, episode 264. Big day for us. Not really.
So big.
You know, it's as usual the show where we pitch new TV show ideas, character arcs, different plot points, thrillers, mysteries, sci-fi, fantasy, all that good stuff.
Adventure, action, romance.
Yes, exactly.
All sorts of fun stuff.
And I've got a new show idea for you, and a pilot episode and some episode ideas as well. You gave me the title.
Fuck yeah, dude.
A difficult one. I asked for a difficult one, and I certainly got it. Oven Ready Revenge was the title.
Yes,
very tough.
I loved Oven Ready Revenge. I think it's a solid title.
I felt like there was only a couple things that I could really do. I could be really abstract with it, but I couldn't put together an abstract thing it has to be silly. Oven Ready Revenge is a silly title, so it had to be a silly show. And I decided the only way I joked with you that I would do like a Hot Pocket documentary
series,
but that's obviously that would be microwave ready because you microwave Hot Pockets, or like a frozen pizza mockumentary, like Frozen Pizza Company, because I guess that would be oven ready. And that is exactly what I did because I couldn't come up with anything else besides my joke idea I threw out at the beginning. So I've got a corporate sitcom.
Do you want to know?
What's your?
Oh, sorry. Before you start, do you want to know what my idea was for Oven Ready Revenge?
I do.
Or is that a little secret?
If it's like way better, then no. But if it's like on par, then sure.
I don't know if it's way better, right?
Oh
but
my god.
My idea.
This is where you pitch fucking Star
Revenge.
Wars after I just gave you like I don't know, Spaceballs or something.
Yeah. No, my idea was like there's this like 1950s housewife, right? Who is like embarrassed in front of her whole neighborhood. And so she decides to like take revenge out on them by poisoning all their food, right? And so she makes like casseroles and pies and shit for all of her neighbors, but it's all poison. And so she's like slowly but surely killing her entire neighborhood with her food. That was my idea.
Would that be a film then, I guess?
Like sort of a film. Yeah, I would say a film or a mini series, just depending on how much you wanted to get into each character that she's killing.
I did kind of have a similar thought, which was like see, the problem is that I essentially can't do it because it would be like a true crime series where like a disgruntled housewife kills her husband sort of thing. And be like, you do like a True Detective style investigative show trying to uncover it. But I feel like I couldn't do that because I didn't have a real murder. I guess I could have looked up one, but I didn't, so... But I do like that idea. But see, if you do a film, then I have to put a lot more work in than a sitcom. So I did a corporate sitcom surrounding an oven-ready food company, which is at war with a microwave-ready food-ready company. So this is modern day corporate sitcom surrounding corporate espionage, and it's a mockumentary. So there's like a guy with a camera who is an actual character in the show as well. Going around.
Okay, so like the revolution will be televised.
Exactly, just like that. I love that idea of where the camera operator is like part of the show and like ridicules the things that are happening and asks questions, and I like that idea. So doing it again.
Only filming things that he finds important, but other people don't. Yeah. I always love shit like that.
Yeah, or like like in I think it's the Office will do the things where like they're like secretly filming something they shouldn't be and stuff like that. I don't think all the show will be through that guy's camera, but a lot of it will be because I think there's parts of it that couldn't really be through the camera. So, who are we following, Charlie? Well, we have the company Minute Meals, an oven-ready meal company which exclusively sells frozen meals meant for the oven.
All right.
founder/CEO is Dave Minutes, and he's played by either Jerry Seinfeld or Larry David. I'm leaning towards Jerry Seinfeld because he did that weird like Pop-Tart movie, Unfrosted or whatever it was called. So I was leaning towards Jerry Seinfeld because I feel like he'd fit with this. Racked with jealousy and self-loathing, hates microwaves after a childhood accident that left his hand deformed. There's no visible deformity that we see all the time, but he always wears a glove. And we'll eventually learn that there is actually like nothing, and it's been gone for years. And he just always wears the glove.
He's just kind of a drama queen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's just playing it up a little bit. So, but because of this, he's vehemently afraid of microwaves and wants the destruction of Seconds Away. Seconds Away being the microwave meal company, which solely sells meals meant for microwaves. So not super clever.
And clever enough.
But we'll get to the characters that are under the Seconds Away flag. But the other members of the Minutes or the Minute Meal Company are Ahmed Watts, who's played by Riz Ahmed. I don't know if you know who Riz Ahmed is, but I love
Riz Ahmed. He's great.
Oh, okay. Well, you do. Well, for the viewers, then he was in I think it was The Sound of Metal, and he's in other stuff too. But Sound of Metal's the one I really think
he's in fucking Star Wars.
Riz Ahmed's not in Star Wars.
Yeah, he is. He's in fucking he's in Rogue One.
Is he?
Pretty sure he's in. Yeah, he's in Rogue One. Remember, he's that guy who's like, he's gonna get fed to the big mind eater thing. Yeah. Come on, our audience isn't cultured. They don't know The Sound of Metal.
Okay, well, Sound of Metal won I think he won an Oscar for Sound of Metal, or the movie won an Oscar or something. I don't remember. So Riz Ahmed, anyway. Riz Ahmed is essentially like our Jim from The Office type. He was hired, though in this situation it's a little more ridiculous. So you'll notice his first name is Ahmed in this, Ahmed Watts. He was hired by Dave because Dave is racist and thought Ahmed was a terrorist because of his first name, and he thought it'd be very useful to hire a terrorist to destroy the Seconds Away company. So he's named the Chief of Competition Management, which is essentially like, come up with ideas to destroy the other company. Ahmed, though, is not obviously a terrorist. He's from Ohio and is a non-denominational Christian. He was annoyed at first when he learned that, Dave is just a racist guy who thinks he's a terrorist, but he has like a nice salary and he can basically just do nothing and kind of just mess around, so he's cool with it. Plus, he's got a cool title, Chief of Competition Management. So, he's like, I could just do this for a while, and it's fine. I get paid. I don't really do anything. It's cool. Then we have Lenora Schott. Lenora Schott is the secretary to Dave Minutes. She runs the company while Dave kind of runs amok, trying to destroy Seconds Away. And she's also kind of clearly embezzling money in the background. So she's like an older woman, probably like in her 50s or mid to late 50s, and one of those doesn't give a crap secretaries, kind of just not paying attention to anything, but is doing like the majority of the work that's holding the company together. But is also, she's taking her share, skimming off the top, getting some money. You can tell like as the series progresses, her clothes get nicer, her car is gonna be like nicer than Dave's car and everything. It's gonna be very clear that she's making a lot of money from this. Then we have Bobby Ops. Bobby Ops is either going to be played by a younger Aaron Paul, which is impossible because he's, the age he is, or Daniel Radcliffe. Bobby Ops is the head of hostile operations. He's the guy in charge of actually attacking other companies. Absolute airhead. All of his ideas come from video games, but he's secretly quite smart in very niche topics. So he doesn't know general things. Like, he couldn't tell you what's in what a potato is. He doesn't know a potato's a starch. He doesn't. But he'll look at a potato and just be confused by it and not understand it. But he'll know like the capital of every country in Europe or something. Like he has wild knowledge that it's confusing what he knows and doesn't know. He either knows everything about a topic or he has no idea about it. Like, it is very strange. Then we have Jane Allen. Jane Allen would be played by either Kristen Ritter right now or Kristen Ritter like 5 years ago. Kristen Ritter she was in Jessica Jones and some other stuff.
Jessica Jones.
She's in Breaking Bad. Yeah. Maybe like Breaking Bad age Kristen Ritter. She's the marketing manager. She's one of the few people that does work for the company. And she has a bit of a will they, won't they with Ahmed, which we'll get into as we get into the episodes.
Ooh.
They're kind of like the Jim and Pam, the Leslie, Nope, and Ben. You know, they're the central. You'll be invested in their relationship as the show goes on.
Your central will they, won't they, but they almost definitely will, because I have never once seen a television show with a will they, won't they that doesn't end with and they did. You know? Yeah.
No, it's never no. No is never the answer.
Yeah, it would be funny though if you spent like 5 seasons like building up this relationship of like, oh, they kissed in that Christmas party and like all this stuff, and then you end it with, turns out they don't like each other very much, and then they just leave.
And it just didn't work out. Nope.
Yeah. Turns out his parents are racist, and she couldn't get over that, and so they just they stopped dating.
Yep.
There. Done.
So, anyway, they will they, won't they, possibly between them, maybe it ends in failure. She's the head of marketing, though, so she comes up with advertising plans and consistently gets overridden and has to come up with attack ads instead. So there's actually very little marketing done for their company, which will, end up being a problem for them. It's mainly just anti-marketing they do for Seconds Away. Is most just of what bullying. Their budget goes towards. And as I said, this is a mockumentary, Charlie, which means we need the person that's actually filming, and we have Michael Massey, a documentary film student who was paid by Dave to film the company, but he doesn't really care too much about the job at first. It's just something he's doing for money and going to school, but he starts to like it and get way more engaged in the filming and enjoying the company as it goes, because at first he's like, oh, okay, I gotta film a documentary for this stupid frozen food company, and then he realizes they're actually just fucking crazy, so it becomes more interesting.
He's starting to enjoy it more and more.
Yeah, this goes from like boring corporate, in his head, it's going from like boring corporate scenario to kind of like action movie, or like mystery, because they're doing all this crazy stuff to Seconds Away and all this corporate espionage. He's also very into avant-garde stuff like French films, but he hasn't actually seen any of it, so he knows the titles and he knows like the directors' names, but he hasn't seen any of the movies, but he acts like he has all these opinions that he doesn't, it's all just made up opinions that he's read or something like that. He hasn't actually seen any of these movies or read any of these books that he's talking about. So yeah, bit of a fraud in that respect. But next we have Seconds Away, which is the microwave meal company, which solely sells microwave meals meals meant for the microwave. The CEO and founder of Seconds Away is Johnny Football, is his name. And he's played
Johnny Football?
Yeah, Johnny Football. Johnny Football is not actually going to be his real name. I didn't come up with a stupid name, probably like, I don't know, Sheldon, something.
Jonathan
really
Football.
Well, it's got to be something like really nerdy and losery, like Sheldon Whataburger. I don't know. Something.
Sheldon Whataburger.
Something.
Greatest. Yeah. You know what? That's up there with Jimmy King and Tourniquet Jones in terms of just high quality names that we've come up with for this
Johnny Football or Sheldon Whataburger. Both are kind of fit that
Sheldon
category.
I'm gonna say both. It's a Superman Clark Kent situation. You know.
Now, Charlie,
can't get one without the other.
Here's the best part about Johnny Football. As you'll notice a little bit of a comparison between the fact that I made Jerry Seinfeld the other CEO, or Larry David potentially. This one is also played by a Seinfeld character, Patrick Warburton.
My God,
is Johnny Football. He's the high school bully of Dave Minutes and still bullies him as the CEO of the competing company.
If Patrick Warburton ever thinks about changing his name, he does look like a guy whose last name is Football.
He should.
Johnny Football.
As soon as I came up with the name Johnny Football, Patrick Warburton, as soon as I connected those two, I was like, this is perfect. I think he has to be Johnny Football.
Absolutely perfecto.
Absolutely.
All right, connection. I do have a secondary casting choice. If we can't get Patrick Warburton, Nick Offerman. You've got me thinking about Parks and Rec, and Nick Offerman could also pull off a Johnny Football.
Yeah, that'd be a different take on Johnny Football, but a good take as well.
Exactly. A little bit more reserved Johnny Football.
Yeah, more reserved Johnny Football, not as boisterous. But
sounds like a
there's obviously other people at Seconds Away.
He was signing up to be a porn star.
Meyer,
that's what Johnny Football is reminding me of.
The marketing manager for Seconds Away. Now she does. I'll get into the reveal later, but there's more to Ashley Mayer at first. But she kind of just seems like a normal person as well, somewhat very similar to Jane Allen. I'll get to some of the reveals later. We have Christopher Kahn. Christopher Kahn is an Indian American, also from Ohio, like Ahmed Watts. He's the head of opposition optics, so he's essentially the other version of Ahmed Watts. So Minute Meals has Ahmed Watts
because he's racist. Also,
yes,
Johnny Football also
but he's
racist.
He's even more stupid because this guy is Indian American, he's not from the Middle East. So
he's not even Middle Eastern.
Yep.
So he's not only very racist, he's very ignorant of political everything having to do with the world.
Ironically, though,
good to know.
Christopher Kahn, so Ashley Meyer is kind of the other side of Jane Allen. So Jane Allen, other marketing manager. Ashley Meyer is going to seem kind of, similar, just focused on her job. Christopher Kahn, unlike Ahmed Watts, he's going to seem like he doesn't really care about taking down Minute Meals, but he's actually super into his job and very conniving and takes it super seriously and wants to destroy Minute Meals. So Christopher Kahn was, somewhat racistly hired, but he's totally good with committing, and he'll commit
totally
to the bit a little bit. Like he'll wear a turban for Johnny Football and all this kind of stuff. Like this is a very irreverent show, and Christopher Kahn's he doesn't give a fuck.
I can tell. I'll put a fucking turban on. I don't give a shit.
But so the show itself,
I don't care.
The show itself is going to make fun of this. Obviously, our Ahmed Watts is going to be sort of like the audience's POV character that will, because he's the Jim from The Office type. He will be like, that is incredibly racist on so many levels that you have this dude who's not even from the Middle East that's wearing a turban. He's from Ohio. His parents are from India. Like, what is going on right now? Next, we have Macy Football. She's the daughter of Johnny Football. She also works for Seconds Away. Doesn't really care about work at all, but she's always around and is the only normal person at Seconds Away. She's a film student as well as like Michael Massey, and she's actually she gets sort of interested in the documentary that's being created. So that's part of it a little bit. And finally, the final company, which is not going to become relevant until, the last few episodes of the show, and I'm only going to briefly explain them once we get to the finale and how it's supposed to end, is Gregor Farms. Gregor Farms is a company that sells meals for the oven, microwave, and air fryer, all in one. Legit company, very serious, and, an actual normal product, which isn't just focused on one appliance. Like every other microwavable or meal that you see or a lot of meals that you see at grocery stores, it has instructions that are like, okay, this is how you do it in the air fryer, this is how you do it in the microwave, this is how you do it in the oven. But this is going to be completely insane to both the people at Seconds Away and the people at Minute Meals. So, episode 1, the documentary opens with a Dave Minute's introduction of the company. We're going to have him going around, introducing everybody in the company, but it's going to start with him flubbing over and over again as he tries to like say who he is and the name of the company. Like just as he's going to fail like four takes in a row. We're just going to keep cutting and cutting and cutting to the next takes until eventually the camera dies and they have to charge it. And then Dave's going to go through and do the introduction of The Office where you meet all the characters. You will get like the first realization that, Dave will introduce Ahmed Watts and be like, he's our resident terrorist. And Ahmed's like, I'm from Ohio. I'm here because I get paid a lot. This guy's crazy.
I'm just here for the paycheck, dude. I just work here, man.
I just want to put that on record that I'm not behind or supportive of anything this guy says. I just want to get paid and I want to go home. That's all I'm here for.
I just want to go to church and pray and then go home. I have no goddamn idea what this guy's talking about. It's frankly, it's pretty racist, but he pays well.
It's pretty crazy. We go to a board meeting where they're going to go over their plan to infiltrate Seconds Away and add uranium to the food, which is immediately met with so many questions by Ahmed Watts, who's like, okay, wait, like, you want to put uranium in the food so that it'll explode in the microwave? Do we even know if it explodes in the microwave? And Dave is like, I mean, I don't know if it would it's uranium, it's a nuclear bomb, explode. And Ahmed's just like confused. He's like, that's not how that works. But I mean, either way, if you put uranium in the food, it's gonna be bad, regardless of if it gets microwaved or not. How are you even gonna get uranium? Like, have you even thought that through? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
They don't sell that at Costco, mate. Like, where the fuck are we just getting that from?
Right? Yeah. How are you
Connect?
Supposed to Connect? Yeah, he's got the uranium Connect.
Oh yeah, dude. They have all those flyers around town. You just like scan the QR code and you get a phone number and you call them up and get some uranium. Easy peasy.
Yeah, not really gonna work. Now you can't really order uranium off of Amazon. But Ahmed will shoot that idea down. Bobby Ops, suggests that they add those little things. You'll see them at like 4th of July, where you throw this little like small little rock thing at the ground and it explodes. I don't know what it's called.
One of those. I'll look it up.
Copper things, whatever they're called. Essentially, there's these little tiny rocks. You throw them at the ground, and it like sparks and explodes a little bit. It's not like a big explosion, but it's like it makes like a noise and it's loud. Yeah, like you give them to kids at 4th of July and they throw them at the ground. It's kind of the idea. But Bobby Ops wants to
fun snaps.
Fun snaps. So Bobby Ops wants to buy a bunch of fun snaps and put them under all the toilet seats at Seconds Away, so when people sit down, it's just like a big boom. It's not like horrific, but it will scare the crap out of you, and I don't know, probably could. I'm not sure what a lot of those could do, but I assume that, with your sensitive areas dangling or, being around the seat at that time, it might not be good.
Probably wouldn't end well for
explosive things down there. So that's his idea, which Ahmed shoots down because of the, the potential danger and because it's stupid. And Dave agrees because he's like, no, we want to target the product. That's what we want to do. We got to take down the product. We got to end their stupid microwave meals. I mean, who even uses a microwave? It's just stupid. Absolutely stupid. And Jane Allen, the marketing manager, jokingly suggests that why don't you just add metal? That'll explode in the microwave. And Dave's like, brilliant idea. And so he's like, we gotta do that. And Ahmed and Jane are immediately distraught. And Ahmed's like, why would you suggest that? You knew of course he's gonna do it. She's like, I wasn't even thinking. Like, I don't know why. Of course they're gonna freaking do it.
He's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah. So Dave Minutes and Bobby Ops, they start planning and actually testing the device. So they'll put some metal in a meal and put it in the microwave and watch the microwave explode, and be like, oh, that's brilliant, perfect. And Michael Massey's going to be filming them and kind of excited by this turn of events. And Dave, so Ahmed and Jane are going to continue doing actual work. They're going to go out to lunch, and Ahmed is he's about to ask Jane out when they run into Ashley Meyer and Macy Football, the people from Seconds Away. And they're going to recognize them and introduce themselves and be like, oh, like you all are at the other, the corporate food company that's right across the street from us. Like, how's it going? And because these are like the 4 normal people around the offices, they're going to, not be insane around each other and just have a normal conversation. And Ashley and Ahmed are kind of hit it off a little bit. And Ahmed will mention that his boss has this harebrained scheme that Dave is cooking up and warns them that, like, don't microwave any of your food because it might explode. And Ahmed also, though, he was just about to ask Jane out, but now he's kind of really hit it off with Ashley out of nowhere, who he just met, but they kind of have a bit of chemistry. Mm-hmm. And he'll confide in Michael Massey about, like, the whole, he's not really sure who he should talk to about this, or who he should go with. And Michael will inform him about the crazy crap that David Minutes and Bobby Ops are up to with all the testing out the different metal in the microwaves. And they've probably destroyed like 100 microwaves at this point. Probably went to a mega store and just bought a crap ton of microwaves, and it's just a whole warehouse just full of blown up microwaves, probably hiding behind a trash can shield or something like that.
You just pan by and there's dozens of microwaves. Each one of them has like a post-it note with a different kind of metal on it, and then there's just like one, you see some and it's like one's got mercury on the post-it note and you just see metal like leaking out of it. The other one's got like potassium and it's just fucking exploded by, beyond recognition. I don't know what metals do inside microwaves besides explode, but we could get a scientist in to figure it out for us. We're not smart.
Yeah. Different amounts, what they do. Anyway, what they'll eventually do is they'll decide that they wanted Ahmed will convince them not to shove a whole fork in the food, and they're going to eventually decide that they're going to put like metal, like dust in the food so that it will go, they won't recognize it. David doesn't do the fork, not because he, doesn't want that big of an explosion, but because he's like, oh, you're right, Ahmed. They'll notice that this giant fork's in there. We gotta hide it. We'll just sprinkle it into the food so nobody will notice. Like, you're brilliant, Ahmed. This is why you're the chief of competition management. And Ahmed's like, oh my God
damn it, really? Fuck.
And Ahmed will get a call while he's in this warehouse. It's getting later at night, and it's Jane. She wants to know if he wants to meet up for drinks. And so he'll go out with Jane. They'll be hanging out at the bar, and things are going really well. He's gonna ask her out, but then he's gonna learn right at that moment, right before, as he's like opening his mouth to, like, he's like, hey Jane, there's something I want to ask you, or whatever. That's when she's gonna be like, oh, sorry, my boyfriend just called. And he's like, oh, okay, shit. I don't know how I didn't know that. We've been friends for a while now, and it's just never come up somehow. And he's kind of bummed after this, and that's when he gets a call from David, who's like, all right, Ahmed, we're gonna head in. Are you in? And he's like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. And so Ahmed, Michael, David, and Bobby sneak into Seconds Away and start putting metal dust in the food. But as they're doing it, Ahmed's like, he's like, where did you find this like metal dust? And Bobby's like, oh, I just went to like an arts and crafts store and they just had it. And he's like, wait a second, is this just glitter? Are you just putting glitter in the food? Is all you're doing? This isn't gonna explode. This is plastic. And Bobby's a freaking idiot, so he doesn't even notice. And as he's confronting him, that's when all the lights in the warehouse turn on, and Johnny Football is there with his, with a team of police officers ready to arrest and take down David. And they're like, oh my God, David's all pissed off because he's like, they somehow knew we were coming, like they were ready for us. This is so stupid. He somehow saw somebody must have leaked the plans. It's like, you're just an idiot. You snuck into like a warehouse like at night. Of course, an alarm probably went off, and that's what happened. So they all get arrested, except for Ahmed, who's able to get out of taking to jail because Ashley sees him and like speaks up for him, and the two go out for a drink and hit it off afterwards. And as David's taken away in the back of a cop car, he yells that he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those meddling kids. And Bobby's like, wait, so kids took us down? He's like, no, I just wanted to yell that.
Well, I heard that on TV. I thought it sounded cool. It's like, what? Where'd you hear that on TV? I don't know. Like the Flintstones or something? The fuck are you talking about as they're driving away?
Yeah,
What the hell are you talking about? Slap, slap. All sorts of fun violence happening in the back of the car.
The back of the cop car. So that's the end of the first episode. In the second episode, we'd quickly learn that they weren't charged because this isn't a real legal reason, but it would be the joking reason, because it's a sitcom, is that, well, actually, it wasn't a crime because they didn't actually contaminate the food, because all they did was add more microplastics to it, and it was already so full of microplastics that it had no actual effect on the content of the food. So
it somehow made the food healthier, which we're still trying to figure out.
Yeah, they're like, this might have actually just been a common good. We're not really sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of a gray area for us here.
Cut to the guy, and he's like, well, we were putting in food, so I saw it, and I was like, well, I'll get the edible kind, because we're putting it in food. Turns out he just put edible glitter into all the food, and it's like, oh, dude, you're bad at espionage. You're bad at subterfuge. He's like, aw, man, I wish I was good at subterfuge.
So,
sorry, I don't have very many good jokes.
I wish I was good at subterfuge. What a great pun, Charlie. Episode 2. So we'll get that, the reveal about the microplastics. We'll also get Ashley and Ahmed's relationship beginning to grow. So we've got a bit of a Romeo and Juliet situation here. The two different companies' relationship growing between the marketing manager at Seconds Away and the head of competition management at Minute Meals. And this whole time, while they're dating and stuff, David is going to be convinced that Ahmed is doing this as part of the espionage, and he's like, you're a genius. I mean, he's an absolute, you'll give him a raise and everything. This guy, he just thinks on a different level than the rest of us. He just knows what to do. He didn't get arrested somehow, but I know he's flirting with the enemies so that he can infiltrate them. This guy's a genius.
God, he's so good at terrorism.
Unfortunately, not everyone thinks he's a genius, because Jane is now very jealous about this whole situation. And it turns out she doesn't, the text that she got from her boyfriend, she meant to say her ex-boyfriend, because they'd broken up recently. And he still tries to communicate with her. And she was interested in Ahmed, and now is getting jealous because Ahmed's dating Ashley. And Bobby Ops, the kind of idiot played by, I don't even remember who he's played by. Do you remember who he's played by, Charlie?
Was it Daniel Radcliffe?
Daniel Radcliffe, yes, Harry Potter. Harry Potter he's an idiot, but he's nice, and so he starts comforting Jane, and their relationship gets a little closer. And Dave is convinced that Johnny Football is going to retaliate him after his attempt to put metal in his food when it was really just microplastics. And no one believes him except for Bobby. And he spends the whole episode trying to protect against possible attacks, but nothing ever happens. And he's going to be this paranoid mess trying to figure out what's going to happen. He's going to learn that all the things that he thought were attacks, he'll see he'll think people are watching him, and he'll think that somebody added something to his coffee, or somebody added something to one of their meals, or one of the frozen meals, and when he reveals it to everybody else, there's always gone whatever it was. He'll learn that it was all actually true, and it was just we'll learn, as the audience will learn, that it was all actually true. But he won't know. He's just convinced he's paranoid. And it'll be Christopher Conn and Johnny Football. We're actually doing all this stuff, and all they wanted to do was make him more paranoid and crazy.
Mission accomplished.
Another episode idea has had was that Johnny Football starts adding gluten to all of the gluten-free meals that Minutes sells. Classic. Except it's revealed that Johnny Football will reveal this and be like, and you're going to be, we've sabotaged all of your gluten-free meals. And Dave will be like, well, joke's on you. They weren't gluten-free anyway.
They were already glutinous. We don't care about gluten-free people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by the way, I was thinking that they are right next to each other. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, across the street is what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, across the street. You said that already. maybe we could have an episode where there's a bar like equidistant between both of these places, and so our like each team is competing to see who gets to go to the bar, you know, because they're like,
funny. Yeah,
it's our bar, no, it's our bar, and then the bartender at the very end is like, dude, it's just a bar, you can all drink here. Or maybe they're trying to like, whoever, you know, is able to convince the bar to sell their food, they get to call it their bar, and at the end they're like, dude, we have a kitchen, we've got a chef, he makes the food, we're not selling your fucking oven ready crap.
Yeah.
No, we have a guy to make food for us. What are you talking about? And they both teams are kind of like, oh, you want a drink? Yeah, I'll get a drink. And then everybody buys each other drinks.
We also have a company softball episode where they both have softball teams.
I was going to say we have to have a softball episode because those are always classics.
Yeah.
You know?
That'd be great. And they're both like they're like hiring like college kids to the company, like ringers for the team, like college baseball players and everything. Like it gets completely out of hand.
Eventually, that like Johnny Football gets so competitive, he starts hiring like real MLB players, and they're just coming out and just like. Eventually, by the end of the episode, both teams are completely like staffed by like actual MLB players, and all of our principal cast is just sitting on the sidelines watching. And they all kind of look at each other and like, you guys want to go? This isn't really fun anymore. And they're like, yeah, let's go.
Maybe they both get disqualified from the league. Like we'll see like a montage of you know, as they're getting more and more MLB players, or you know, they're doing more steroids, whatever the joke is with that. They're winning so many games. Like, you know, they're beating the local newspaper and, you know, all the other local offices around them, and they're, you know, they have like close records, and they get to the World Series of softball for the town, and it's like this massive game. And as like, you know, we're in the 9th inning, you know, we get a big hit from Ahmed that's gonna win the game, and he'll cross home plate all excited, and that's when like the league commissioner shows up, and he's like, yeah, so you're only allowed to have people on the team that are in the company, and you got like 6 MLB players on the team, and they have like 8. So this ain't gonna work. Like you can't be doing this.
You're all disqualified. Get the hell out, all of you.
Yeah.
And they're all like, and they start, oh no, it's the commissioner. We should have they put a dog on the team, Air Bud style, like just a throwaway gag. Well, there's no rule that says I can't have a dog on my team. And they're like, you're right. There's no rule that says I can't have a silverback gorilla on my team. And just more and more ridiculous animals come around. So it's like, we have used Jurassic Park technology to construct the perfect baseball player, and it's one gigantic arm. Just an enormous man's arm with no body attached. It's like, perfect. He will be beautiful. Swings a bat, home run, arm falls over and starts like slowly crawling over to first base, and they're like, oh, we're gonna be here for a long fucking time, aren't we? Yeah, we are.
Okay, so end of season 1, we have a reveal, Charlie. Now, throughout the first season, Ashley and Ahmed are going to get closer, relationships getting better, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the season, it's going to be revealed that Ashley has actually been a spy this whole time, is only dating Ahmed to get information for Johnny Football on Minute Meals.
That would break my heart.
It's this whole season-long relationship that's all just a lie, and she's just been doing it for this stupid corporate espionage thing. And that's why throughout the season, Johnny Football is going to succeed in all of his schemes, and Dave Minutes is going to fail. That's why in the first episode, Johnny Football was ready for the glitter thing, or, you know, the metal dust thing in the food. And that's because Ahmed told Ashley when they met, like, oh yeah, he's preparing some scheme, and so she's gonna immediately tell Johnny Football, and Johnny's gonna get ready for the scheme. Yeah, so that's going to happen throughout the series. Like every episode or every other episode, there's going to be some scheme that gets foiled, and Dave is going to get more and more paranoid by this. And
I like it.
Ahmed is, of course, going to be devastated, but he's going to be even more devastated because at the end of the first season, Jane is also going to now be in a relationship with Bobby Ops, who sort of, came in to the rescue when Jane, recently ended a relationship and was distraught because the guy she liked started dating somebody else.
So our main character is just like the romantic interest he had is totally fucked, and then also the romantic interest he could have had is dating someone else.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just a mess.
Absolute heartbreak.
So that's the end of the first season. Things are going to change. Second season, Ahmed's going to be a lot more into the role of being competition management and like actually coming up with schemes, because now he actually hates Seconds Away because he was
now he's mad about it.
He's got a vendetta against them for messing with his heart, and so he gets way more into that. And the relationship between Bobby Ops and Jane isn't gonna go too well. It's gonna be, if you've seen Parks and Rec, Chris Pratt's character is dating I can't remember what is her name. Do you know that girl actress's name?
Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones's character. And their relationship doesn't work because Chris Pratt is like a complete dumbass, and Rashida Jones' character is like very smart and normal. So that's going to become clearly an issue in season 2. So they're gonna break up eventually. And the will they won't they will finally succeed, and Ahmed will get with Ahmed and Jane will get together. But the conclusion of the show is going to be with Dave Minutes and Johnny Football teaming up to take down Gregor Farms, this new big company that's coming in that does all three. They do the air frying, they do the microwave, and they do the oven. So the two arch enemies got to come together to take down Gregor Farms. And
they actually do get plutonium and they blow it up. They nuke it. That's how the show ends.
Whatever they do is horrific to this Gregor Farms, but what's going to happen is that they're going to get arrested and go to jail. Because when they were messing with each other, they didn't really, they wouldn't press charges on each other. They weren't really trying to, neither of them was competent enough to run a serious business and not mess with the other person.
It's no harm, no foul.
They both enjoy secretly the messing with each other, and they know that they probably should just focus on their jobs like normal, but they enjoy it. But when they try to take down Gregor Farms, they're met with somebody that's like just a real serious corporation that's like, we're gonna press charges and we're gonna give the police all the evidence they need to put you away forever. And they're both gonna end up in jail together, arguing and complaining about.
And each character gets put in the same cell as their like opposite at the other company.
Oh, I know. I was only thinking that
funny.
David and Johnny would get arrested, but they could all get arrested. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, well, maybe we have a moment where Ahmed's like, "Hey man, I just work here, dude. I don't really care." It's like, is this the business card you've been handing out? Chief of oppositional, what was his
competition management?
Competition management? Is that what that's? Because we found this at the crime scene.
He's like, well, like,
oh.
I mean, I did do some stuff, but I wasn't.
It was his idea. And Jerry Seinfeld's just like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. That was crazy. Show ends. All of our principal cast are in prison except Jerry Seinfeld and Patrick Warburton, who are sipping martinis.
It's even better. Somehow they both get out. They both pay to get out, and now they're like, they're in, I don't know, Tahiti or something, and they seem like at first it seems like they're just relaxing and living life, and then Dave will like turn over him and it's like, so are we gonna blow up the factory at midnight? And he's like, yep, blow up the factory at midnight. Yep. And we'll pan out. We'll see that there's a massive Gregor Farms factory just sitting on the island nearby.
Or maybe they're trying to come up with their next business that they could fight over.
Oh.
I'm going to start a shoe company. Well, I'm going to start a flip-flop I'm going to start a sock company. And then they'd all just start
it's got to be the same thing, except they do it in different ways. Like, they'll be sipping, like, a martini, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to make a, like, pre-made martini mix that anyone could just buy, and all you have to do is shake it up, and you're ready to go. And he's like, the other guy's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a pre-made martini mix, and all you have to do is stir it up, and it's ready to go. And he's like, do it, and then just immediately they go right back into the hate.
Yeah.
They'll seem recognized.
It's like, oh, I'm going to get a guy from Pakistan, and I'm going to get a dude from fucking Yemen. Like, they just start being just all over again, and the cycle will continue forever.
Yeah, the cycle continues.
All right.
That was my show, Charlie. That was Oven Ready Revenge.
Oven Ready Revenge.
It was fun. I like it. I think it's a cute little sitcom.
Yeah.
Plays with some funny
fun. It's
themes.
Funny.
It's all right.
Johnny Football is still hilarious. I did not expect Oven Ready to Revenge to get us to 52 minutes. That is
I did not either.
Good on you. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles. Along with me as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Cloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat. And remember, we will be here next week with a brand new televisual series, which will be titled Ba-ba-da-ba. Jake, what's the title? Tell us the title. Ba-ba-da-ba.
Nessuno Niente, which means no one, nothing in Italian. So, Charlie, as I've already stated to you, you can either call it no one, nothing. You can call it no one and nothing. Nessuno Niente, whatever you want to do with that. But that is your title.
You can't even see how many hand motions I'm doing because it's Italian. The hand motions are coming out hot and fast. Oh, like a pizza pie is coming out so fast.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of Italian stereotypes next week, everyone. Get ready for it. Jake's going to be offended.
I'm not excited. I can't. Charlie likes to do inaccurate things sometimes, and
Get mad.
I'm gonna
remember that time I said Germans were fighting in the desert in World War I, and you nearly had an aneurysm.
I don't remember that, but
Oh really? I do. You were not happy about it. It was a cowboy show, and I was like, yeah. They're in World War I. The Germans are coming after them, and you were like, they're in Cairo, and the Germans are coming after them, and you were like, stop, no. When I've dealt with your historical inaccuracies enough.
I think you wanted trench warfare in the desert or something like that. Maybe I can't remember exactly what it was, because there was some fighting in deserty regions.
In the desert, but it was the Ottomans.
Germans weren't really involved, but. Yeah, I could see myself getting upset about that now that I say more words. Well, you like to just throw historical events at the wall, and I can't sometimes.
Yeah, it's great. It's very fun. There's going to be so many. Next week, it's going to be all about the time that Jesus met Julius Caesar, and they hung out and they held hands.
Yeah, and they opened a pizza shop together called Little Caesars.
A pizzeria, come on, I'm walking here.
All right.
All right, everyone, have a good day. Bye-bye.